Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Ray, DIY Nation in the house, guys. Back with another how-to for the DIYs. As you can see, I'm standing in front of my house, and behind me, I have the Andersen storm door. Now, I forgot the model number. I put a little screenshot of the model number I have. Had this door for quite a few years. Absolutely love the door. I had my whole front door replaced, but I put the original Andersen door back on because I enjoyed it. It saved me some money, and there was no need to replace it. Now, in doing so, I know some of the parts on here will fail. All right, they don't last forever. I think I had this door for maybe over 10, 15 years. And again, absolutely love the door, but unfortunately, a part failed. All right, and let me show you. That part is going to be the hinge part up in this part right here. So if you own this type of door and you have a hinge problem that end up breaking off, I'm going to show you how to fix it. It's a DIY. You don't have to trash the door. You don't have to call a professional. You can do this yourself. Now, I'm going to be listing some affiliate parts that's on my Amazon account or my Amazon store. Please use that link. It does support the channel and I greatly appreciate it. So enough of me talking. Let's get to fixing this door and check out the other video how I end up fixing the locks also. All right, because you may have some issue with that mechanism. I showed you in the previous video how to get it done. Very easy to do. Again, the extend the life of your Andersen door. So again, welcome back to the channel. This is Ray, DIY Nation. Let's just get into the video. Let's go. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you. All right, now, as you can see in my door right there, the hinge has broken off. Now, when I first initially saw this, I thought I was up, you know what, creek, that I had to buy a whole freaking new door, and I wasn't trying to do that. If you have a door like this, Andersen, Pella, or any third-party brand, and they all have this type of hinge, I'm gonna show you what you need to do to replace it. All right, so again, I had this door for over, again, 10, 15 years. Absolutely love the door. Didn't replace it when I replaced my front door just recently. So let's open this up and let's get a closer look at it. Okay, so as you can see, I have this type of hinge up here, and I end up finding some replacement parts on this. All right, I'm gonna put a link or screenshot of the parts I found, and maybe it'll help you on repairing your door because you're gonna have to get these parts before you even attempt this fix. To my understanding, it shouldn't be that difficult. All right, I didn't know at the time when I bought the door, I really looked at it, that these are compression fit or spring-loaded hinges. So replacing it is really not that difficult. You only need a few tools, and that's pretty much it. So let me show you the part that I end up ordering to get this hinge fixed. Now, as you see in front, yes, I bought two different styles. All right, I bought one that includes the hinge itself initially, and as you see, it has all the necessary parts, the spacer, the spring, the hinge, if you need to replace that. Now, I wasn't sure when I bought that I would need this or not, but I end up finding another part. Now, again, all these parts are made in China, of course. All right, this is a four-pack storm door, and what I like about this version here, that this is all metal. The spacers, everything you get is all metal. I ordered this one also, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to use first. I'm gonna take the old one out, examine the part, compare it to what I have here, and one of these packages I'm going to end up using. All right, check out the field links for these two packages if you're interested. Again, in this affiliate, they'll support the channel. And let's just get the old pieces off and compare what we have in the door and what I bought. Okay, now before we get started, I suggest if your storm door has the spring on the bottom and on the top, I suggest that you remove these pins first so the door can stay open as you work on it so it doesn't come in. So let me get these two pins removed so I can have the door swing fully open. And when I say pin, let me show you what I'm talking about. Persons who never done this before, it's this little pin right here. This one, I lost my pin, so I'm just using a nail. Pull that out. That's all disengaged, and you have a similar one up top also. Take that pin out, and this allow this door just to stay open. All right, before we get started. So let me get that done, and then we'll move to the next step. Okay, guys. All right, I end up getting the hinge off the door. Now, let me give you a word of advice. Depending on the distance that you have, let me show you the distance that you have between here, and your inner door or your main door. You may not be able to get in there with a power tool, or which I was having difficulties doing. So, what I end up doing, and then just as for my type of application, I had to get a bit and use a socket just because of the distance. So you may have to use something like this to get that screw off. All right. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, if you end up buying a package like this, and again, I put a link before you open that package, compare your existing hinge to the screw locations. And if you can see that before I open it, actually I can open it to show it to you. Of course, most likely I'm gonna have to send this one back. As you can see, the hole locations are not the same. So you may gonna have to drill additional hole into your door if you end up keeping this and utilizing this, or it's just not gonna work. Again, showing the comparison of what I have. I don't think this is gonna work for me for my application. Again, when I bought this, I wasn't sure if it was going to be the correct size. It seems like it's the same distance, but it's just how it's laid out. It's totally different. So this one's going to go back because it does not fit. Now I'm going to have to just default to this one. All right, this one just has the hardware. And when I took out the screw, I only had this here. So the whole mechanism, everything here already fell through this hole into my jam. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to use this to replace it. So I just want to give you that tip. If you're not sure about the layout on your door and you order this, just compare that, order this one or order both of them. So again, I'll put the link of this one just so you know what I ordered and maybe not ordered, or maybe it does fit for your application. Depends on your situation. So let me keep it moving. I'm gonna have to default to this one and add this to it. So let me get this set up and we'll just keep it moving. Okay, guys, we're gonna keep it moving. Now, this is my suggestion for your DIYs. If you're preparing this, compare this for this package or this package. I recommend, highly recommend, and matter of fact, this one is going to be on the top of the list. Replacement parts you should buy. The reason why I like this one is that in the original door, we had these nylon or plastic spacers, and this replacement is all metal. So you upgrade in that particular department, because I believe the reason why your hinge failed is because this got old and brittle and just broke down. All right, and that's not going to happen with the metal one. So get this one instead, because again, it's all metal, and if your hinges are in good condition, which this one is, all right, because this is metal and it shouldn't have failed. If it's in good condition, bypass the other hinge one. So just get this one, use your original hinges. Now, when you put this together, and this is my first time doing it, but you pretty much can see how you figure it out. You see how these two pins, this is how it looks. It's all spring loaded. So take out one of your hinges, and especially if you're going to replace them all, which I am, you can get these all fixed and ready to go. So make it easier to replace the other hinges. And let me show you. You take one of your hinges, or the one that's broken, take that out. What you're gonna do, you're just gonna slide that spring in between inside the hinge. Then you're simply gonna take these little stoppers. Again, I don't know the official name of them, but this here, which is metal, nice and heavy, you're gonna put it in opposite ends. One here and one up here. And then all you're gonna do is just press down, forcing that spring to engage. All right, may have to do a few times. So that one's in, and see that one's in. All right, so that's done. All right, so do that for all your springs to have them all preloaded. What I'm trying to tell you. All right, so I have 4 springs I have to replace. So I'm gonna just, and this is a 4 pack, so this fits perfectly for my door. So it's nothing going to be wasted or left over. So let me just get this all preloaded in this spring, and then we're going to go to the door and install this thing. And then you shouldn't ever have any more problems because you're pretty much upgrading the parts that's in your door already. You see how that's done? That's all preloaded, and I just got one more. So let me just get this done, and then we'll go over to the door and get it installed. All right, so stand by. Okay, guys, I'm gonna see if I can get this installed for you to show you how I'm doing it. Again, this, as you can see, this hinge compresses with that spring, all right, up and down like that. Actually, it's gonna go this way because I have to match up with this screw here. So the hinge does definitely has to come off the door. And now with these 2 pieces, you're gonna replace it because the original is plastic and put a metal one in. So this one goes to the bottom and should fit right in there. And be careful the door don't swing in and pinch your fingers because it will hurt like a mother. Now let me make sure I got nothing in here. I don't think I should. I just had to make sure it's even just so it fits right in there. So that piece is right there. Now all I'm doing is gonna take my hinge, make sure it's in the right position, which is like this, to go in these 2 holes here. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that the piece that goes on top, I'm gonna put it on top already like that. I think it's probably easier because it allows me to push down with this screwdriver downward. What we're gonna do is just gonna take this part here, we're gonna fit it so it goes in that hole. All right, something like that. You probably gonna have to finagle it a little bit. All right, like that. And now I have to, no, that's not gonna work. All right, that's not gonna work. So let me, nope, don't do it that way. All right, this has to go in first. All right, because there's no room. So I'm gonna have to force that up there like that. So it's gonna take a little finagling to get this done correctly. And like, this is the difficulty of having it on the jam, because I'm gonna have to have this stay up here and try to hold it while I put this here and force that downward, something like that. Let me just try to figure this out, get this up in here, but that's how I'm doing it. I may have to take this jam off, which I'm trying to avoid. It's gonna take me a little bit, so let me figure this out, guys, but that's how you get it done. I'm gonna see if I can do this without taking this jam off. So stand by. Okay, guys, I got it installed. All right, so I have to give you a very important tip, all right? If you don't want to be here struggling with this, I recommend if you installing it with the door still on, and you don't want to take off the hinge, which is much easier to do, but I'll explain why I don't want to do that. To get this installed, all right, with these replacement parts, being the tolerance are so tight, I suggest to take your old bracket and shave it. If you have a grinding wheel or a sanding wheel or a belt sander or whatever that you have, sand like one, not even the eighth of it, but sand enough of it so it allows you to get to slip this in, because it was very difficult for me to try to get this in without sanding it. So that's what I did. I took it to my belt sander and I just shaved both ends just ever so slightly, just to give me make this a little smaller to get between these 2 bushings, metal bushings. That's the easiest way, so you're not struggling all day trying to get this in. All right, because of the angle. All right, so I took a little bit off, made it much easier to get it in, pinch down on that spring, and it snapped right in. And then you just have to come back and screw it in. And again, due to the angle, if you have like a little angle hinge for your screw to do that, perfect. All right, and have another person available to lift up on the opposite side of your door to get it back up plumb to the screw. And that's that. So that's done. And it works perfectly now. All right. Actually, it works better than my original one. All right. And another tip, almost forgot. Being that you know this screw has to stay up here and you're keeping this jam on, I use again a little bit of what's this? Synthetic grease that I use for my vehicle for the ball joints, what have you. I had a little bit, just put a tab on this. piece right here, especially the ones that's go on top, because what it does, just get that ever slight friction to keep it up top so it's not falling out. So again, it's grease, it's going to help with the bearings, it's not going to hurt it. So that's what I did to keep this up here so it doesn't fall down. All right, so that's about it. It's work. What I'm going to do, I'm going to replace the rest of them since I'm already here working on it, get it done, and that's that. So after I'm done with the whole complete job, I'll come back, let you look at it, and that's going to end the video. So guys, please like, subscribe, and we'll just keep it moving. Let's go. All right, guys. All right, I'm done with this. Now, initially I said I was going to replace all four hinges. I decided not to do that. Only reason why, because to do that, you're going to have to pretty much break these connections in between this, and I really don't want to deal with that. So I'll just keep the extra parts. If it does break, then I'll replace it. So that's how you get it done. Not that difficult. Take my pointers about the tolerance. Try to shave off a little bit. Use a grinding wheel, sandpaper, whatever you can. Take a few, like an eighth of an inch or 1/16 of an inch on each side off, on one side, just to help you slide that bracket in and make it much easier to get in. So please consider like, subscribe, check out the affiliate links, and I'll just see you on the next one. Later.